Afternoon. It's 1 p.m. on what is today? Tuesday afternoon. And we're back with previewing another local business in our community. A very, very interesting business and an awesome business based in Lake Park. And we use this guy's services. I'll bring him on in a second here. We use this guy's services for our Tug of War to Stop Cancer events, where we had a 3D printer create a tug jug, the championship trophy. And when I was in that shop, I'll tell you what, I think I was there for hours because it just amazed me seeing all the 3D printers. And then I even got to put on a virtual reality headset. And Alex, the owner, showed me, I was at an NBA game sitting courtside. LeBron James went to go save a pass and I felt like he was going to knock me over. It was virtual reality, and it's here. It's been here, and it's going to continue to grow, especially in the world that we're living in now. So I'm going to bring on Jeff Lichtenstein, owner at Ecofine Properties. Say hey, Jeff. Give a wave.
Hey.
And Mr. Alex Lorenzo, owner of DaVinci's 3D Lounge in Lake Park. And Alex, I got to tell you what, your business there is one of the coolest things I've been to in a long time. Yeah. So I'm going to let Jeff take it away. So Jeff, let's learn a little bit more about DaVinci's 3D Lounge.
So we last June we had the Tug of War to Stop Cancer, and we needed a trophy. And I saw but we needed a really cool trophy with it was kind of metal-like and had these tug of war ropes, and we couldn't find anything locally. There was something I saw that was overseas, so I was talking to my son about it, and Sam was 20 at the time. He says, "Well, we'll go trophy shopping." He said, "Why don't we do a 3D printed trophy?" And I'm like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, let's go." So I thought that would be a father-son thing to do. So we end up going to see Alex in the 3D lounge, and it was the most fascinating 3-4 hours. Not only did he make a trophy for us, but between that and we were talking about virtual reality at this point, Alex was kind enough to let me visit like 30 different virtual reality rooms. And I really got a preview of how real estate's going to be. And we're moving in this direction incredibly fast right now, but the whole world's going to change. And would love to, Alex, tell us about your business and what's going on both in the 3D world and how you're helping people at the present, and how are things going to get fast forwarded. So what was going to happen 3, 5, 7 years from now, I think is going to happen at a much faster pace.
Mm-hmm. DaVinci's Lounge is very diverse, first of all. But to sum it all up, we specialize in 3D technology. We now live in a world that if we can create anything in the 3D digital world, we can manifest that into the physical world. And we do that using 3D technology. And on the other end of that process is our 3D printers, which are have been placed in the spotlight just recently because we were the first to be able to respond very quickly with the ability to provide people with personal protection. One of the nice things about 3D printing is we don't need to wait. We don't need to make tools or anything like that in order to start producing. So we were quick to share, in fact, the 3D file, the 3D blueprint to make this shield, for example, right here. So once we got the digital file for this design, we were ready to start producing. We realize, and we're very aware of where 3D technology is taking us. I would say that the country as a whole still doesn't really fully grasp its potential, and we're here to share that information with everyone. 3D printing and 3D technology is already revolutionizing how we get things, how we produce things. And it kind of, levels the playing field so that anyone can produce things, really.
I mean, part of what I remember you told me, and I didn't grasp it fully till I was with you, but like if you have a part, or whether it's manufacturing a shoe or having a little part that breaks and you need to replace that part, you can do it, with a 3D printer, or model homes or all sorts of stuff.
It's the ability to make anything. So that applies to everyone. We typically have to rely on other people to provide us.
Good afternoon. It's 1 p.m. on what is today? Tuesday afternoon. And we're back with previewing another local business in our community. A very, very interesting business and an awesome business based in Lake Park. And we use this guy's services. I'll bring him on in a second here. We use this guy's services for our Tug of War to Stop Cancer events, where we had a 3D printer create a tug jug, the championship trophy. And when I was in that shop, I'll tell you what, I think I was there for hours because it just amazed me seeing all the 3D printers. And then I even got to put on a virtual reality headset. And Alex, the owner, showed me, I was at an NBA game sitting courtside. LeBron James went to go save a pass and I felt like he was going to knock me over. It was virtual reality, and it's here. It's been here. And it's going to continue to grow, especially in the world that we're living in now. So I'm going to bring on Jeff Lichtenstein, owner at Echo Fine Properties. Say hey, Jeff. Give a wave.
Hey.
And Mr. Alex Lorenzo, owner of DaVinci's 3D Lounge in Lake Park. And Alex, I got to tell you what, your business there is one of the coolest things I've been to in a long time. Yeah. So I'm going to let Jeff take it away. So, Jeff, let's learn a little bit more about DaVinci's 3D Lounge.
So last June, we had the Tug of War to Stop Cancer, and we needed a trophy. And I saw but we needed a really cool trophy with it was kind of metal-like and had these tug of war ropes. And we couldn't find anything locally. There was something I saw that was overseas. So I was talking to my son about it. And Sam was 20 at the time. He says, well, we'll go trophy shopping. He said, why don't we do a 3D printed trophy? And I'm like, what? And he said, yeah, let's go. So I thought that would be a father-son thing to do. So we end up going to see Alex in the 3D lounge. And it was the most fascinating 3-4 hours. Not only did he make a trophy for us, but between that and we were talking about virtual reality. At this point, Alex was kind enough to let me visit like 30 different virtual reality rooms. And I really got a preview of how real estate's going to be. And we're moving in this direction incredibly fast right now, but the whole world's going to change. And we'd love to, Alex, tell us about your business and what's going on both in the 3D world and how you're helping people at the present, and how are things going to get fast forwarded. So what was going to happen 3, 5, 7 years from now, I think is going to happen at a much faster pace.
Mm-hmm. DaVinci's Lounge is very diverse, first of all. But to sum it all up, we specialize in 3D technology. We now live in a world that if we can create anything in the 3D digital world, we can manifest that into the physical world. And we do that using 3D technology. And on the other end of that process is our 3D printers, which are have been placed in the spotlight just recently because we were the first to be able to respond very quickly with the ability to provide people with personal protection. One of the nice things about 3D printing is we don't we don't need to wait. We don't need to make tools or anything like that in order to start producing. So we were quick to share, in fact, the 3D file, the 3D blueprint to make this shield, for example, right here. So once we got the digital file for this design, we were ready to start producing. You know, we realize and we're very aware of where 3D technology is taking us. I would say that the country as a whole still doesn't really fully grasp its potential, and we're here to share that information with everyone. 3D printing and 3D technology is already revolutionizing how we get things, how we produce things. And it kind of, you know, levels the playing field so that anyone can produce things, really. You know,
I mean, part of what I remember you told me, and I didn't grasp it fully till I was with you, but like if you have a part, or, you know, whether it's manufacturing a shoe or having a little part that breaks and you need to replace that part, you can do it, you know, with a 3D printer, or model homes or all sorts of stuff.
It's the ability to make anything. So that applies to everyone. We typically have to rely on other people to provide us things because we're not capable of making them for ourselves, right? And so we rely on giant factories with lots of workers to make, you know, hundreds of parts, where with 3D printing, we have the ability to make it for ourselves, if not for others, but for ourselves. And so that's a big disruptor. When you think about how we mass produce things today, it's gotten us this far, but it's a very inefficient way to make things. And 3D printing is quite the opposite. It's very efficient. We're able to produce based on demand, not based on hope or economics or anything like that. If, you know, 5 people want a product, we make 5 products for those people. It's not this idea that we're going to make hundreds of thousands and hope that, you know, a certain amount of people are going to want that. We can make exactly what is required or asked of us, if that makes sense.
How many printers, physical printers, do you have?
Right now I have about 10, but we will have, I think, an additional 20 within the next few weeks, actually.
Wow.
Yeah,
so
we're really.
So are you going to be moving out of your place, or where are you going to put them all?
No, we're currently rearranging things, but the idea, and what we refer to that as, is a print farm. When you have multiple machines, and what that allows us to do is it does 2 things: allows us to produce more, and it allows us to produce at a cheaper cost for people, which we.
Can you spin the camera and show a little bit?
I can, but again, keep in mind that we're kind of moving things around.
It's a pandemic. It's okay.
Okay. So, which way am I going? So here's the machines back there. You can see a row of 5 right there. And then you see them back here. Those are all machines. But yeah, it'll be a little crowded as soon as all those machines get put in place.
And then, so who are your clients? Who's coming to you?
Well, it's everybody. It's the ability to make anything. So that applies to anyone. You know, whether you're a doctor, you know, an inventor, a housewife that wants to replace a part that broke, or maybe has a great idea. It's the ability to make anything. So on any given day, we don't know what's going to walk through that door. It's always something different. I can't say we have one particular type of client, because it's everybody.
What comes to you most in volume? That's kind of the same thing, or what comes to you, and what's like the most unique thing that you've seen?
Can you bring a box of those things we're printing there? It can be as simple as this, which is, thank you, sir, which is it's just a part that someone's asking for. You know, it's a very simple part, but they're wanting thousands of these. So from that to this is 3D printed. This is the spine of a dog. And so from a CAT scan, anything that's inside of you, or a dog or whatever, we can create outside of the body. So this has amazing applications. I mean, the most enjoyable thing that I like to, that I remember that I made so far was I made it was a propeller, but it was a propeller that was made for dolphins. And these dolphins push this propeller through the water and it spins and stuff. And I just kind of like the idea that something that I've made is being enjoyed by dolphins in the water is kind of interesting for me.
Well, it's our logo. Our logo is dolphins,
Oh,
so
there
we
you
like
go.
it. It's something that we'll enjoy too. You can see the dolphins behind me.
I see 'em.
How fast is the technology, since I saw you last summer,
Yeah.
how fast has the technology moved?
It advances. By the time we end this meeting here, there'll be a dozen new advances. It's constant. And you got to realize, because half of the equation to this process is on the digital side of things, the ability to update programs that help us make things, that advances at lightning speed. On the other side of the technology, the hardware side, that's also advancing. The machines today are 30% faster than they were last year. There's all new technologies that are up and coming. They're all still considered 3D printing, but these new technologies are just advancing everything even more. It's nonstop. That's the other thing too. And if we do have a moment, I just want to mention that it's the ability to make anything. If you don't see opportunity in that, I don't know what to tell you, because that means that even individuals, not just my company, but individuals can find their niche, especially now when we're looking at so many huge numbers of unemployment. I think now is the time, if any, to look into 3D printing and seeing and discover what the possible opportunities are for anyone, really.
I mean, I left your place. This is must have been last May, and I couldn't get my mind off of it for my head was spinning from both the 3D printing aspect, which I didn't get until I was with you.
Yeah.
And it was like, it took me a little bit. And then Rob went and we did the video of your place, and Rob had the same reaction of what is it going to look like 3 years from now?
I think everyone will have a 3D printer. And you said 3 years, or how many years? Or...
You tell me. My son has Sam has a 3D printer. It's a little one, but he plays with it all the time.
I'll tell you where things are going eventually, whether they'll be here tomorrow, which they could easily be, or in the next couple years or wherever. This is where things are going. Individuals will have a 3D printer of their own, right? And you'll wake up and let's say you have an event that particular evening, and you want a new pair of shoes to match your outfit. So you'll look online, you'll see a pair of shoes that you like, and you'll download the digital file that will allow you to produce those pairs of shoes. Now, the nice thing about it is by then you'll probably have the bottom of your foot scanned in, so that now that you're downloading those shoes, that'll be adapted to the 3D blueprint, if you will. And so now that digital file is tailored to your foot, meaning that once you make these shoes are made for you. They will only fit you because, again, they're made for you. And then you'll probably be able to choose what color you want, so it matches your outfit and this and all that. So what it does is it turns the individual into what we call a prosumer. You are producing what you are consuming. It doesn't get any more efficient than that. And that's where things are going, is essentially either you'll produce it for yourself, or you'll take it to a service like me and you just drop off or send us the file and we produce it for you. So
they'll probably, people have small printers, but you're going to have the larger, the better up, better stuff.
Right. There's 3D printers of all sizes. I mean, if you haven't heard, they're 3D printing out buildings now, actual houses, and they just did a 2-story building. They're 3D printing boats, but it's everything. So it's everything from small items and jewelry and dentistry to food and clothing and everything in between. So if we don't have the machines, certainly someone else will. And that's the thing that we try to emphasize here in our class. It's not the hardware side that, and don't get me wrong, there's plenty of opportunity on the hardware side, but the true superpower is in the ability to manipulate or create the digital side. And that's what we try to show everyone here, is that that's something that's, you know, basically anybody's capable of doing. Kind of lost my train of thought there, but
No. So, when is your prediction that everybody will have one of these?
I would say within the next 10 years, you will certainly see it in a lot of homes. Yeah. Once it gets to the point where the machine is like a toaster oven, meaning, hey, I turn it on, I hit my button, and out it comes. You know, that type of ease of use, I think you'll see it widespread. I don't see why you wouldn't, you know?
You know what it is? It's a bad name. It's the 3D part's good and the printing's good, but when you think of printing, you think of a piece of paper.
That's
and
right.
I think that's probably the disconnect. So it took me, that's what it is. It took me a long time in your place. I think you started giving me the example, the shoe example.
Yeah.
Then I started, or the replacement part, that's when I started to get it.
Yeah, the printing aspect of it has actually helped and hurt, because a lot of people are intrigued. They're like, you know, they're confused, and that certainly gets them to look into it a little bit more. But it is a little bit of a misnomer. I mean, technically, if you really get into it, yes, you'll really understand that it is, in a way, there's a reason why they call it printing, but it's certainly not what everybody associates printing to be all about. I mean, we are making anything in objects. These are physical objects, you know?
You know, what I would encourage you, it's worthwhile, first of all, just to visit, and because you're going to, especially if you're a business owner, you're going to think of, you're probably not realizing what you could be doing with this. And there's a lot of different things that you could do in applications that you're not thinking of, or maybe a year out from now, there's stuff right now from visiting you that's helped me in different things we're doing in our business just by visiting you. Go to the 3D side. So when I saw you a year ago, and still I was surprised at how inexpensive you can get an Oculus for $499, although I can't find one anywhere. But it's not that expensive, and a lot of the technology is now. When I saw you, it's basically a gaming thing, and I know from Sam's college, a lot of the kids in that age are already familiar with this. And you said at the time a lot of it was just for gaming, and where everything starts, the whole sex industry.
The virtual reality. We're talking about virtual reality now, right?
We're talking about virtual reality, yeah. So how has that advanced at this point from the last year? Can you give us an update?
Well, Oculus has come up with some newer models of their virtual reality goggles. Probably most importantly is the one where you're not tethered, so you're free to walk around a space or in any given room. I think that's a big deal, because that opens the door for the ability to turn a physical room and match that with the virtual reality space. And that just opens a whole new world of reality, or I should say virtual reality, where you're in this room, but you're really not. You're in wherever else but this room.
Right. You took me on a tour of a home. It was a Miami condo.
Yeah.
You know, and you're just moving around, and you're there, and you're walking up the stairs, or you're opening up a door, and you feel like you're there. And for me, I get pretty bad motion sickness. I'm in that 10th percentile that you spin me around, I get nauseous, or you don't want to bring me to some of the rides at Disney.
I'm right there with you.
And for an hour and a half, I didn't get motion sickness, which shocked me.
Yeah.
But then there was another room where we were in a museum, and Tyrannosaurus Rex ran at me, and I could feel the breath, of the air, and that freaked me out. Where is it?
I tell you, that wasn't the dragon or the dinosaur's breath. That was me fanning you with a magazine. Sorry, secret's out.
I love it. So, where is that? Where is it going though? Where is it advanced? And then when is it going to be the time where we can go shopping and try on clothes, or go to Publix?
Well, there's two types of systems. First of all, there's virtual reality, and then there's what we call augmented reality. Augmented reality is the blend of the real world with a virtual world, whereas the virtual world is entirely virtual, meaning everything's synthetic. The augmented reality, essentially where that's heading, is the idea that you would have a pair of glasses, or even contact lenses, or your iPhone or whatever, and let's say you're walking down you know, the cereal aisle at a grocery store. Well, rather than just looking at boxes, these boxes now will have videos, and you know, things will be coming out where you'll be able to look at the ingredients and things of that nature rather than just the box. The box will serve as a it's it's a way for them to just register their digital information with your glasses. So you know, you'll be able to get much more information, whether that's a good thing or bad thing, when you're walking around in the normal world. The virtual world is the entirely virtual world is the ability to put you in any type of physical, or I'm sorry, any type of world, really, whatever that might be. That might be outer space. That might be, you know, showing real estate agents or real estate clients a space. The beauty there is that, you know, and maybe you can attest to this. How many times have you had someone who's thought they saw some pictures and thought those were awesome and wanted to certainly go see the house, and you spend a half an hour driving over to the other side of town, only for them to spend a half a second inside the space to realize they don't like it. You know, sometimes images can be a little, you know, they can
like for us right now, we're using we bought some machinery that does a 3D, and you can walk through the house in it, and you can look at it either online, and we took our website and we have a custom site, so we have the programmers come in and can figure out where these are available and have that pop up first with all the tools. So you can take measurements and look at it in a dollhouse view and stuff. And then, like, for people online, we've done some this works, a little inexpensive way, but they're a little echo glasses, so we can put this right into our phone and at least look, from that perspective. So we see a lot of it moving in that direction. I think it's going to, very, very quickly.
The big difference, and they've had it for a while, where you're watching and it's in 3D and it's on a computer and all that, and that's really cool. I think that's really neat. But this is just taking it to the next level, where you're in that space. You are there. You look around. Your senses are been taken over, and you don't know the difference that you're not in the real room. And that's obviously that speaks volumes when you're looking at real estate, really. Especially
remember, Alex.
I'm sorry.
No, I was saying, I remember when we were there, and Jeff was there too, a week before me. And he said, you got to try this headset this guy's got. I go, what headset? What?
Yeah.
And you put it on me, and it was a basketball game, an NBA game. Yeah. And I remember standing there, and the guy went to go, I think it was LeBron James. He went to go save the ball from going out of bounds. And I literally jumped because it felt like he was going to hit me. And they were like right there, like you could reach your hand out and touch. And I remember this, and still stuck with me. What you said is, you said, think about it this way. You go to a football game, or you go to a basketball game, let's use basketball, and you sit courtside. You pay $1,000 or whatever the price is for that seat, whatever it is. Way more than that. Yeah. Now, if through virtual reality, I can sit courtside, and they can sell an infinite amount of those tickets. So they can sell all over the world courtside seats to the Lakers game, to the Heat game, and you can watch it from the privacy of your own home.
Best seat in the house.
Yeah.
With your own beer. You're not paying $12 for a beer or $20 for a slice.
There's a $12 upgrade to sit next to Jack Nicholson at the Lakers game, right?
Well, there you go. Yeah. But it's incredible, and I try. So one last thing, I try to tell people, and from you're a wealth of knowledge, and the business you've created there is incredible. It's amazing, and you're a very open person, very great person. The thing is, we're here now, like we're in this world, and people still don't believe it. They think, oh, virtual reality, there's no way that's ever going to happen. I'm sure when the internet came out, they said this will never happen. Yeah. There's no way. The first car, this will never happen. Well, we're here, we're living it, and it's only going to continue to progress from this point on.
That's right. And especially now, I'm just realizing that this very moment is that with all that's going on, even though through virtual reality, in a sense, we're disconnected, it's a way to be connected without the danger. And if you think about it, I mean, you can use virtual reality on a social level. You can meet someone on the other side of the planet, but they'll be standing right in front of you. You can, they can gesture to you. It's like them being there, but they're not. And so now with everything that's going on, that seems to be something that's a little bit worth considering more, I think, you know. I'd like to see you do one of these things in the virtual world. I mean,
I want, you know, like, where do you, is the Oculus the right thing to start in? Where do you buy it? I just looking on my phone and it's Best Buy and they're sold out, you know, notify me. So if I want to do it, should I just go to eBay and buy something there?
I've heard that they're very hard to come by. That's where I bought mine, was not on eBay, but at Best Buy. So I haven't looked. I really don't know. But I should mention that it's owned by Facebook, the company, and you know, if that tells you anything, they see where everything's going, and in their mind, they see everyone, you know, heading toward the virtual world for all sorts of reasons, if not just social reasons. But I really don't know. I don't know. I didn't know there. You know, you're like the second person has told me just recently that they're hard to come by. So I don't know the situation there. I can't imagine. You know.
Is that the right one to get the 128 gigabyte?
There's obviously a few options. I always like to go with the most powerful and whatever, you know.
Is that the most powerful one on the market right now and the easiest to use?
I couldn't tell you. As far as use is concerned, they're very easy to use. It's very easy to get to. But I wish I couldn't give you an answer with that right now. I know there's two different ones. And I think the difference is the amount of memory one has compared to the other.
Right. Yeah. One is double the memory. And
right.
Well, you're going to get me to just go somewhere and buy it, you know, buy it today. It's like it's like a whole black market. It seems like to get it, but they're not. What's the difference if you're thinking about, you know, understanding technology and learning about it, and it's a lot less than a computer. So it's all here now at this point.
It is. You know, 3D printing's been around since 1983. I'm gonna switch over to 3D printing just to give you an idea here, though. That's been around since 1983. We still, on almost a daily basis, have people walking in, and first of all, don't know what we're all about, and then, at the very least, though, are seeing a 3D printer for the very first time. Okay, so that tells you a couple things. One is that we're still at the very infancy of this technology, even though it's been, you know, a few decades that it's been around. Right now, it's where it's really starting to take a foothold, but we're still at the very beginning. Where was I going with that? So same thing with the virtual reality is a lot of people aren't aware of it. And as they become more aware of it, it's just, you know, it's just constantly expanding. You know, this technology, it's not going anywhere. It's not like it's going to disappear and fade out or anything. It's only going to expand. So the question is when do individuals get curious enough to step in? Because once you jump in, it's hard to jump out, because you're like, oh,
it's like a Zoom call.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's the same thing. I'm shocked it hasn't happened yet, but it might be just that you can't. They're hard to, you know. Once you have to one product that you can get, that's the only way you can get it. Maybe that's when things start to happen.
Yeah.
And Alex, for people out there that are watching this and have never been by your place before, I know the coronavirus right now maybe limits the amount of people in and out of the shop, or I don't know how you're dealing with that right now, but where are you located, first of all? So tell people where you're located and how they can get in touch with you.
We're in Lake Park, Florida. Technically, we call this the Lake Park Arts District. Lake Park's been going through a little bit of a renaissance of its own and rejuvenation. We're in the Kelsey Plaza, which is home to a few awesome places. You got the Kelsey Vintage right here, which is my next door neighbors. That's an awesome place to go. But you got the Brew House Gallery and the Kelsey Theater and Brick and Barrel Restaurant. So anyway, I love being in this plaza. We're in Lake Park, Florida, Park Avenue, Lake Park, 738 Lake Park. What was your other question?
How do they reach you? What's the number?
The phone number? Oh God, what is the phone number here? The phone number is 561-323-4666. 4702. I don't call it much, so I don't remember.
That's fine. And you got two websites. So the websites
do.
are tell them the two websites too.
It's because it's two different businesses. DaVinci's 3D Lounge is dedicated toward education, teaching anyone who wants to take advantage of this technology how to go about, how to best do that. And then the other company is All Access 3D, where we essentially provide 3D printing and 3D design services for the masses. So the latter is All Access 3D, and that's ALLAXIS3D.com. And then the school is DaVinci's 3dlounge.com, and that's DaVincis 3dlounge.com. And then of course, we're on Instagram and on Facebook and all that sort of stuff.
Hey, well, I just bought an Oculus.
Yes.
I ordered it.
Congratulations.
I'm getting this done. You've inspired me. So will you do training at all if I have an Oculus?
I can just show you. There's nothing, I mean.
But can I do it from my home and do it in the online class?
Sure. I mean, that's what's the beauty of that is it's really simple to use. You put it on and start enjoying the ride. That's how I like it.
And for those people out there just watching, it's Alex Lorenzo from DaVinci's 3D Lounge. He's joining us this afternoon. If you haven't been there yet, I'm telling you, you're gonna spend hours because it blows my mind. And Jeff felt the same way. The 3D printers is one thing, but then this virtual reality technology, Alex is well ahead of the curve. There it is. He's helped out in the community also. So if you see what he's putting on his face right now, that's from a 3D printer. So there was a shortage of masks and shortage of different things for healthcare workers and different things. So that covers the face. That's something that his team will him over there at.
Can I tell a quick story about that real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that like a few weeks ago, we jumped into the idea of making face shields for people. I have a business associate and close friend, and his name is Jim Lucas, and he has a company, LGW Media Works or something to that effect. We got together and we said, okay, what can we do? These people, there's a lot of people who look like they're in need. And I was like, I think we can produce these and start getting into the hands of people right away. So we did that. And I have to say, we did not realize what that really meant. And the most important thing it meant was that we were going to, and we did, receive hundreds of calls from desperate people who are frantic, people who were scared, people who had questions that we didn't have the answers to. So, that was just a few short weeks ago when everybody was just scrambling, trying to figure things out. And we got in there as quickly as we could. And within 2 or 3 weeks then, as things developed and changed, a lot of other people were able to throw their hat in the ring with 3D printing capabilities. And you hear about Boeing making these shields by the million daily.
Right. I heard they were going to do the same thing. I remember reading about it with ventilators and stuff.
Yeah,
there's so many intricate parts.
And that was great and whatever. But then what we realized is that we could help folks out that weren't in the medical field, that weren't nurses. And we started getting calls, and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, we're getting calls with all the openings. We're getting all these calls from nail techs, restaurants, anyone at a front counter, dentists. We were supplying mailmen with these things. It's everybody but the doctors and the nurses who, God bless them for what they're doing and all, but they seem to be, there's a lot of people helping those folks out. What we're trying to do is two things. We're trying to help people and protect them with this equipment, which is great. But then we were also realizing that right now, with all the jobs that are gone, now is the time to consider, getting into 3D printing. There might be something that you're good at. It might be, making fishing lures. It could be, making parts for ventilators. It could be anything, But now with this technology, you can provide that for individuals yourself. We don't have to order from China. We don't have to order from someone else. We can make it ourselves, and it's people, once you have all the information, I think everything is self-evident. It's just,
I think one of the things you're saying is you've got heavy unemployment right now.
Yeah.
And if I can summarize it,
Yeah.
I remember in the 06 market, and
Yeah.
you know, people got into the SEO business,
Yeah.
you know, or different emerging industries that happened, and you're going to have a revolution here because this stuff's coming, and it's going to come in a fast way. So if you've got some skill sets and curiosity in it, you should find out how to utilize it. Or, you know, it may become a part of your profession that you do, because it's a growth area. It's not something that's, it's not you know, I was in the home furnishings textile business for draperies. That was a dying industry, is one of the reasons I got out of it at the time. And you've got to adapt and move, keep moving to where things are going.
Yeah. And that's what this is, but it's in a broader sense, because again, it's not one thing, it's anything. It's whatever. You could be a cook, you know, and you decide you want to add some flair to your you know, your plates or whatever. It's anything you can imagine. You can essentially start to produce now.
What are some stuff that what are some stuff that we're not imagining? We're in real estate with 3D printing.
In real estate? Oh, with 3D printing, gosh, that's off the top of my head.
You know, model homes are easy. We were looking at, you know, Sam said, well, you could give like a gift of a, you know, of a home, you know, and his stuff was too small, but we thought about that. Is there anything else that's like that we're not thinking of?
As far as selling real estate, well, one of the we're experts at it. One of the things that we do is we do print out 3D models of architecture. That's one of the things that we do, but that can go as far as to like, this is a gentleman, they're developing a whole development. I don't know if you can see this, but it's a little tiny home. Right?
Yes, my son did one of those too. He did like something for it. Yep.
And then things. And then we do this kind of stuff. But we one of the things we do with 3D printing is we can actually print out a floor plan in 3D. And that leaves little to the imaginations. A lot of people stumble on looking at a floor plan and really truly understanding, you know, the room.
Right, the mind's not connected that way to visualize it.
Yeah, when you have a 3D model, there's no guesswork really. So that's one big way to, I think, a lot of not only just real estate people, but architects should take advantage of it. And ironically, they don't. And again, I think it's just because they just don't know. They just don't know.
I think as you hear 3D printing, even though like I heard, you know, and I think you commented on, there was an article about guns where people are making 3D guns. I never grasped until I saw it physically. It's the same disconnect. It's some of it I think is the name, but there's a disconnect with the same way somebody looks at a model, they can't visualize a floor plan. Right. I think it's the same thing with 3D printing until you really are around somebody like yourself and you beat it into your head for a half an hour, then you don't really get it. How critical this is. One
thing most people with limited knowledge of the technology, they think everything's made out of plastic, and that's not the case. It's made out of every kind of material you could ever imagine. Metal, you know, ceramic, porcelain, chocolate, cement, you name it. There's a 3D printer for that specific type of material. And again, it's once you understand what the capabilities are, it's hard to stop the brain from the little, you know, gears start going. I always say there's two types of people when it comes to this stuff. There's the ones that get it, and you see it in their eye, and their brain's about ready to explode out of their head because they're like, oh my God, I can make anything. Well, you know, what's first? And then you have the ones that, I always use the same analogy. I always say that, you know, back in the day, there was a time when the telephone, for example, was new technology. I'm not talking about the cell phone, but I'm talking about the original telephone. Not everyone had a telephone. Not everyone just woke up and there was a telephone in their living room. That at some point in time was new technology, right? And so there was probably a time, and there was probably certain people there that would say, oh, a phone, you can call anyone anywhere. Who am I going to call? They can't imagine the use of that, right? Well, that's the thing about 3D printing. We can make anything. And so there's people that are saying, oh yeah, but what am I going to make? I don't know what to tell you if you can't come up with something that you would just love to be able to create, you know. But the ones who do get it realize that, and, you know, the sky's the limit when it comes to it. The kids, when we teach kids, and I have to be honest with you, I never have to show them anything twice. I just show it to them and they're like, oh, okay. And they absorb it and they go. You know, the adults, if I ask them, you know, if I show them something, they ask me a million questions that have nothing to do with anything that I'm showing them.
Well, you know what it is? I taught my 16-year-old to drive a car this year. So we went to a corporate park on a Sunday. It's totally quiet. And we go in there and we spend some time looking at the controls. What does this do? Here's the pedal here, and here's the mirror, and here's how you adjust the seat. That was about, 20, 30 minutes at least. And she's been in the car a million times. And then we drove around the parking lot. She's scared and she's going 5 miles an hour. She's pretty, open to things. And then, that went on. So that took an hour. And then we ventured out on the road for an hour and she's scared and going. And then we took a real trip within there. And then at the end of the day, she drove home at the 3-hour thing.
Pretty good.
And an adult doing that, we've all learned to drive. We've all done that. Nobody knew how to drive. But we did a Zoom meeting with our group the first time. And I finally said, we got everybody on. I said, how many have heard of Zoom? Slowly the hands went up. And I said, okay, how many have used Zoom? They all looked around and no matter what, if they were 72 or 58 or whatever age, I said, okay, we're now all, because of this pandemic, we're all in this world. And you've got to all become, like in the movie Big, where he went and became, an adult. We're now in the movie Little, where you've got to go back and open your mind and be like, a 10-year-old again. And I think that's what it is. Some of it is just frustration where you have to know everything or you feel embarrassed because you don't. That's a lot of it too. Frustration where it's going to take you some time, just like when you were little. They don't just get it magically. They have to work it and play with it and be adventurous.
Well, interesting enough, a lot of the people who take classes are either young or in their senior years. And there's been studies that when you're younger, when you're younger in your senior years, your level of creativity goes up, ironically. I don't know what happens in the middle years if something happens, but we get both of the ends of the spectrum as far as people realizing, hey, I got these ideas, I got these burning ideas in my head that I need to find some outlet for. And what better than, simply sitting on your computer, making something on there, and then the satisfaction that, after a little while, you can hold that thing in your hand. That's when we teach the kids, that's like handing them a superpower. Hey, kid, learn how to do this, and you can make anything you come up with. That's pretty, and I don't say that loosely. That's where
I think it's just. We have a guy sold his house, and my favorite all-time client, 90 years old. He was one of my first clients I ever had. And, he's got the Ring doorbell and this and that. I said, were you always interested in technology? And he said, yep. And my sons, we always gravitate towards that way. But me and Rob can tell you, how awful of a period this is. During the day, we turn the news off, and we are innovating at such a fast pace. And it's exciting and exhilarating at the same time if you let your brain, go there and have fun with it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, we are certainly all in when it comes to this technology. We are, I realize it's too much for just me. I mean, I've had associates that say, don't share what you know, because then everyone else will be doing it. And I'm not listening to those people. Our idea is that this is something that everybody should know about. And we know that eventually they will. And so if we can help them on that venture, we're more than happy to do that. That's what we're all about. We're here to open people's eyes and offer opportunity, really, by investing a little bit of time that it takes to learn about this stuff. It's not expensive. And it really isn't difficult. So,
and it's friggin' fun.
And it's fun. It's all of it. It's all of it. Again, every given day, I should say at least can look forward to being involved in helping others create their ideas or dreams. And That's fine by me. I'll do that all day, every day. And we all have them. I mean, how many times have you had an invention and then, or an idea for one, and then like 2 weeks later, you see it on TV. You're like, oh, wait a minute, I had that idea. You know, and we all have that. And that's because, you know, that's the unit in my mind, that's the universe, you know, trying to express itself through you as an individual. And there's never been a time when we've been able to go from idea to holding that idea in our hand in such a quick economic way of, you know, fashion. And that's an amazing thing. I don't know how else to explain it other than it's the ability to make anything. And that's just wonderful for me, at least.
So look at this as a hobby, whether, you know, like painting or anything. And it's something,
Yeah.
but it's technology that you could use and advance your whole career with.
And by the way, the part I enjoy the most is when I get to work with artists, because the nice thing about artists is there's no rules. So it's like, okay, we're going to let's come up with something that is unimaginable and see how we can actually create that in the physical world. I like that. I like it when I don't have any boundaries, you know. And so I also encourage artists to take advantage of this technology, because it's like a new paintbrush that no one ever had before. And you know, and that new paintbrush can allow new artists to express themselves in ways never even known before. So that's exciting stuff. That's real fun. The art side of it gets real fun. Let me say that. Yeah.
Well, I think I mean, amazing, Alex. We were supposed to go for 20 minutes. We went for almost 47, but in a good way.
Sorry.
This was
Okay.
this was amazing, because it's one of those topics. Jeff was involved. I'm involved. It blows my mind, the knowledge that you have. If you haven't been to Alex's shop, it's in Lake Park, in the Rustic Market area. I don't know what you guys call that area. The
Lake Park Arts District.
Oh, it's great. There's great restaurants in there. We always go to the soup kitchen there, where you can get, like, you go to the refrigerator and get all this stuff there and create your own faux pot. It's like our
and we previewed we did AJ over at the Brew House Gallery. We did a video with him last week or 2 weeks ago now. Great place over there too.
He's an amazing human.
But go check out Alex's shop if you have the chance in Lake Park there. Alex, what's your phone number again? Maybe someone's interested in signing up for a class. Maybe somebody's interested in just coming by and just strolling in.
Well, we're currently not offering classes, but actually we're planning on having a meeting today as to when we're going to reschedule, and it's most likely going to be at the beginning of the next month. But they can call 561-323-4702. I'm going to try to remember that someday.
That number. That's right.
But give us a call. If we're not here, certainly leave a message. We'll get back to you. But if you have any ideas, if you want to take classes, we're here to help in any way that we can. That's actually our business motto. But we just happen to do 3D printing and 3D technology, and a lot of times we can help people that way. So that's what we're all about.
Amazing, and he's helped out already with the creation of the masks, as you guys saw earlier. You know, another local guy. There it is. He's got there it is. The shield. Another local guy lives in our community, spends his money here. Active member, gives back to the community. So we need to support guys like Alex and Alex's business there in Lake Park. So if you haven't been there, I suggest you check it out once.
You'll walk out. You'll walk out the first time, and your mind will be totally blown.
It is blown. You need to go ahead.
And I appreciate you guys. I mean, doing what you're doing, highlighting you know, local businesses is pretty. Can I say badass on here? That's pretty cool, man. And you know, like in our case, it all goes back to everyone. I mean, we buy we're buying materials local. You know, we're helping people local. It's keeping our guys busy. So it gets spread out. Let me just tell you, we like to pass the love around and receive it as much as we can as well. So it's all good. And you guys are doing, this is what we need. We need more of this kind of stuff to highlight, you know, our locals here and helping those folks out.
We're a local company in, you know, Palm Beach County, and when people buy in an area, they don't buy a house, they buy the community first.
Sure.
They're buying the surroundings of the area, the weather and the water, but it's what the community has to offer. And if there's parts of the community that are not somewhere you want to live, then you're not going to buy there, you're going to buy somewhere else. So it all starts actually with community.
It does, it really does.
Well, thank you, Alex, for coming on today and talking about your business again. Another amazing business. Alex's DaVinci's 3D Lounge in Lake Park. Check him out. Check out the website, Facebook. He's on Facebook. They're on social media. It'll blow your mind, like Jeff said. And Alex, if you know any other business owners in the area there that want to showcase their business, just pass them my way. You have my number.
I will. You bet.
Yeah, we'd love to have maybe the Kelsey Vintage Goods or one of those other guys on there. So
that place is pretty cool. I love to have the vintage goods.
It's not good to be next door to it because I spend money there, but it's a cool place.
Well, yeah, pass them along some information and see if they'd be
sure.
interested in it.
For
So
sure.
I want to thank you. And Jeff, we're going to be back on in about 10 minutes with Kerry Roman. He's the owner of livingfla.com. He's a big business. He promotes restaurants in Delray and the Boca area, entertainment. And I think he's going to bring on the chef again. A chef may join him from Sexy Chef from Dinners in Motion, the Sexy Chef. So check it out in about 10 minutes. We're going to sign off now, and we'll be back on with Debbie Gross and Alex Lorenzo from DaVinci's 3D Lounge. Thank you so much for joining us. And Jeff, as always.
Hey, I'll see you at 3 o'clock, Rob.
That's
Lickstein plastic surgery then.
Lickstein. All right. Have a good one, folks.
All right.
Bye-bye.